Welcome to an international motocross meeting at Petersfield in Hampshire. It's the second leg of the British Sidecar Grand Prix, with teams from 14 countries battling it out for World Championship points. And it's an impressive venue for this year's British round of the World Championships. We're going to see the second leg. The first was won by number 12, the French pairing of Gilles Mecene and Eric Morgan. The Germans Netterschneid Jahle were second, but the most significant placing was the fifth of Timmermans and Eric Verhagen, earning 11 more championship points. The Dutchmen have dominated this year's World Championship, and they're a step nearer the title, with the Belgians Eddie Ramon and Ramon Strubbe finishing only 8th in that first leg. After the first race, we now think that if you win this next leg, you could become the world champions here, perhaps.
It's possible, but it's very heavy here. I don't think we win the second race.
You don't think so?
No.
Why not?
There are our drivers, they are going faster here. I don't think it.
The top British team, Chris Etheridge and Nick Brace, were really flying in third place in the first leg when part of their exhaust system came off, putting paid to their challenge. But they certainly had the speed to match all the top European teams.
As long as we make the start again, we're going to be up there. And obviously we have to do a little bit more this time. I think it's, after time training, I thought we was be lucky to get a top 5 position, but I think it's possible we could win a race.
Well, Chris Etheridge and his partner Nick Brace will have the support of a big crowd here at Petersfield, no doubt most of them hoping to see a home victory. Thousands of gallons of water have been poured onto the course to try and keep the dust at bay. 30 crews line up for the start in 2 rows, the fastest qualifiers in the front, and that means that the defending world champion Benny Jansen will have his work cut out. He's on the 2nd row, and his usual partner is injured, so Eat Willems takes over in the chair today. And number 5 there, Timmermans and Verhagen. Victory here could make them world champions. We're just a couple of minutes away from the start. Join us again after the break. Welcome back to Petersfield. 30 crews starting to line up. At stake is the British Grand Prix. Let's join our commentator, Barry Nutley.
60 men again then line up for this leg 2. And what a hot prospect ahead of us. Spectators cramming their way round the vantage points on this Langrish circuit just outside of Petersfield in Hampshire. Ideal weather conditions, the crucial first turn, always a tight left-hander. Let's hope everyone gets safe. And a shunt already. 56 upside down. That's Wolfgang Kern, one of the Germans. Both men okay. They're struggling to get the bike upright. My goodness me, look at... Oh, God, dear, oh, dear. Over and over goes 3 or 4 of the outfits already. And that's Timmermans. Timmermans, number 5, still somersaulting. Etheridge is involved on the left-hand side. Riders running backwards and forwards across the circuit. It looks as though everyone is on their feet, although Timmermans' passenger is still trackside. He's prone, in fact. The race appearing to go on. It looks as though everything is still all systems go at the front. And a cracking start by number 13, Theo Morth. Hooser upside down as well. So developments further around. My goodness me, what a dramatic first lap here at Petersfield. 64, the crew involved as well, Günter Guvars with Hooser. Meanwhile, Timmermans, number 5, struggling to get his bike fit, hopefully to continue. Let's have a look at what happened. That's Timmermans coming over the right-hand side, somersaulting. That's Etheridge on the left of your picture, number 26. So the Englishman, meanwhile, Timmermans' bike still upside down. Nick Brace running for his life out of the way of the traffic. Dramatic stuff. No sign then of Timmermans. We'll see whether in fact he gets going or not, but the race goes on. And I think the dust contributed somewhat to that incident as Theo Morth, number 13, leads. From first race winner Gilles Mecene. Then it's Josef Brustmann. Number 21 is Fusenegger, the man who fought into 3rd place in the first leg. And a dramatic start indeed for this leg 2. 30 minutes plus 2 laps await the drivers. As Theo Morth, number 13, speeds ahead of the opposition. He really took advantage of that one. Emil Bossard, this pairing from Switzerland, not usually in the top half a dozen. They are in fact lying in 12th in the championship at the moment on 53 points. There's Brusman. Brusman, in fact, was well up third, finished fourth in the second leg. Race leader then, Theo Morf, number 13. Morf and Bossard from Switzerland. Away down, the downhill drop very, very fast. Fourth gear over the crest of that hill. Down into third for this long, sweeping left-hander. And just look at this battle now for second place between Gilles Mecene, Eric Morgan on the green outfit, and Josef Brusman, Werner Kirschner, number 14. But this is the race leader, 13 on the bike. Unlucky for some, but not for this man. Theo Morf, Emil Bossard. Second and third, scrapping hard, and right behind them it's number 21, Karl Fusenegger from Austria. Well, Brusman having a very aggressive attack on the outside of Mecene, and Brusman getting the drop on Mecene at the top of the hill. Gilles Mecene almost stalled it there. Down went the Frenchman's leg. So Mecene, first race winner, has been relegated to third. And it looks as though number 21, Fusenegger, and Moisberger are also going to pass Gilles Mecene. Meanwhile, Theo Morf really capitalizing on a crystal clear vision ahead of him. There's absolutely no dust, no traffic. Fourth place going through. Fifth, it's number 7, and that's Andy Lenher. The Swiss, Richard Weber. They're in fifth. Lenher then in 5th place. Fusenegger, the yellow pairing of this two. What a brilliant ride they had in the first leg as well. Battled up to third to steal it from under Brusman's nose at the drop. But Brusman now is strong in this second leg, just like he was in race 1. But we've seen him fade before. Now maybe, just maybe, he'll fade again. There you have the top 6. Walter Netterschneid in 6th place. Andy Lenher, Fusenegger, Mecene, Brusman, and Theo Morf, number 13, has got his nose in front. Down the Goodyear Hill then, off the drop and sideways there for Morf. A tricky moment, much more steady and composed by Brusman. Theo Morf then, just riding nice and steadily, 53 points. Going into leg 1, Fusenegger, after a good third place, number 21, is forcing hard in third. 4th place, I beg your pardon, 3rd place, it's Brusman. With Brusman now, number 14. Really closing on the race leader. Theo Morf is having to look to his laurels as through on the inside, and into the lead goes Josef Brusman, number 14. Werner Kirschner doing a superb job holding down the back end of the bike. That's why the passenger has thrown himself across there, anchoring the back, but Theo Morf not having any of it. Germany versus Switzerland, that's what we've got at the moment here at Langrish. And Morf was on the inside line there, but couldn't take advantage of it because there was a good old English oak tree in the way. Now the long climb, and Brusman goes up the right-hand side of this hill. In fact, Morf following in his wheel tracks. That is where Brusman stole 2nd place from Gilles Mecene, who's now still in 3rd. No sign yet of Timmermans, the man who somersaulted so spectacularly on the first lap. If we can get an update on his position, I'll bring it to you just as soon as I get it. Morf then dropping back in 2nd place, going to fall into the clutches, I think, of Gilles Mecene. Fusenegger then 21, Andy Lenher number 7, and then number 4, Walter Netterschneid, Lothar Jahle, runners up in the first leg, but they're having to work hard in this one. Just look at the lead then that Brusman has got. As I said before, he tired dramatically in leg 1. Is it going to happen again? I've got a sneaking feeling also that the man in the left of your picture now, number 12, Gilles Mecene, the Frenchman, is going to grab that 2nd spot from Theo Morf. And Brusman forcing out in front. Morf, then it's Mecene. The battle rages on. And Chris Etheridge, who was involved in that shunt early on, is down in the pits with David Bovin.
Well, the race is still going on, but as we can see, sadly, you're out. What actually happened on that first lap?
Everyone was queuing up to go under the bridge, hitting their brakes, and when they put water on the track, everyone skidded and hit each other up. behind, and I come off worse. I got run over a couple of times. I don't know, I might have broken my wrist.
You damaged your wrist?
Yeah, I think so.
So amazing that you managed to carry on. I mean,
I'd go on and you don't think about it at the time. Maybe after 3 laps, we weren't going to get any points, so it's pointless carrying on, really.
disappointing way to finish, isn't it, really?
Very disappointing. It could have been such a good day, but it's ended up a bad one.
If we'd have got past the crash, I think we would have been probably in top 5, dude.
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
But we went over, and of course, because we was near the front, the bike hit me. Did it hit you as well?
Yeah.
The bike come after us and hit us both. And I got up and I looked back, and there was like 20 odd outfits coming towards us. Chris was by the side of the track. You got off. So I just ran and got behind the bike, so in case any more come in. And lucky enough, no one else hit us.
But you went over to help Timmermans as well.
Yeah, well, Timmermans it's the world title for Timmermans, and I like the guy.
A fairly philosophical point of view there from Nick Brace, and the hot gossip around the paddock is that Nick Brace is retiring at the end of the 1991 season, leaving Chris Etheridge in something of a dilemma, really. But an equally hot rumour is that Shane Skeets, younger brother of the event organiser George Skeets, will be filling that vacant slot in the chair for 1992 for a full onslaught on the World Championship Series. Well, exciting news indeed for British Sidecar Cross supporters. But Gilles Mecene now has grabbed second place, back with the race proper. The Frenchman in second, Brusman still out in front, Theomorph in third, Fussenegger in fourth, and number 4, the man who was runner-up previously, Walter Netterschneid, and he is currently sitting third place in the title. Morph then, what a brilliant start for him, but he's just beginning to fade a little bit. Number 7, Andy Lanier. Lanier very ably passengered by Reinhard Weber. Now, one wonders if Mecene can close that gap. And certainly he closed it very much indeed on that lap. Mecene, number 12, is in second place. And also moving up as well is Netterschneid, number 4. So Netterschneid is now up to 4th place, 4 on the bike, 4th in the race. It's frenetic stuff across the top of the circuit. Race leader still, Brusman, number 14. And look at Mecene closing. The Frenchman going for 20 points in this leg 2 of the British Sidecar Cross Grand Prix at Langrish near Petersfield. 20 points he'll get for the win of this one. And that will assist his World Championship standings no end. This is round 8 of a 9-round series. After this event, the riders move on to Czechoslovakia, and Mecene side by side with Brusman, and Mecene's on the overtaking line, through on the inside, powering hard. Brusman, however, having none of it, keeping his nose just in front again of the Frenchman. So Josef Brusman, what a superb performance. And Werner Kirschner, quick glance over the shoulder there as well, just to see where the devil that Frenchman is, and my goodness me, he's close now, just 1 bike length in it. The threat as well looming large behind the second place man is that of the number 4 outfit of Walter Netterschneid, who's making it abundantly clear that he doesn't want to let the Frenchman out of his sights. He's come up from 6th to 4th, and we're looking now to see if we can pick up Netterschneid. This is the battle, however, for 1st and 2nd, and Brusman is very, very quick along that bottom straight. I think I saw Netterschneid just sneak through into 3rd place as they go up the hill. Now, watch the Frenchman. He goes hard on the left. The German goes hard on the right. And the Frenchman is really on the pipe. He's on the inside line. He's going for it. Mecene tight on the inside, but no way through. Brusman had the sweeping line round on the out. Coming down then towards the right-hander, Brusman. Sidecars both on the right-hand side, so no advantage in the technology here between these two. It's just the aggressive riding of that very, very tough Frenchman, I suspect, that's going to win the day. And Mecene is really going for it on the inside, and he's through, almost forcing Brusman into the chestnut palings. Well, we've got to cool the pace here in the commentary point, because it really is terrific sidecar motocross. The rough stuff at its very best. Netterschneid too has come up to play. He's in 3rd place. He wants to join the fun at the front of the race. Number 14, Brusman. Well, if I said he was riding out of his class, it would be an unfair statement, because he really is riding tremendously well but he's mixing it with the very best of the world here. And doing his World Championship chances a whole power of good as they drop down the hill one more time. Mecene still just ahead of Brusman. Then Netterschneid Jahle, number 4. Third place in the championship for them, I remind you, at this moment in time. No signing yet of the Eddie Ramon-Gino Strubbe pairing, who are lying in second place in the championship. And no sign either of the Timmermans Verhagen pairing, who turned over, and I have to say, fortunately, without very, very serious injury, down this drop on lap 1. Well, Mecene has quite an army of French supporters who have come over to urge him through this British Sidecar Cross Grand Prix, and he's doing them justice. Just look at that, flicking it through. Eric Morgan holding down the third wheel, kicking up the dust for Brusman to fight his way through. 30 minutes plus 2 laps. The top 6, Len Hare still hanging on then. Top 5, I beg your pardon, to 5th place. Theo Morf, Netterschneid, Brusman, race leader Mecene Morgan. Incredible action. Now, Netterschneid is closing on the red-coated pairing of Brusman and Kirchner, looking as though he wants to make second place his own. Theo Morf, Emil Bossard, number 13. A nice, comfortable 4th place. And now, watch this up the hill. On the left-hand side, then, as race leader attacks the top, we're looking to see which one gets it, and it's Netterschneid. The fellow German's almost tipping upside down. Brusman, the passenger was just a bit light there. The sidecar wheel flicked up, and Brusman had to stick out a very steadying left leg to stop the whole thing cartwheeling down the hill. And he did that with great presence of mind and composure. The whole thing was on a knife edge there just for a split second, but he got it back. Second place then, Brusman now down in 3rd. So second place has gone to Netterschneid, who now has 2 laps, and there it is, 2 laps to close on the race leader, Gilles Mecene, and I think that's where the attention must focus. With 2 laps remaining, Mecene head down, right hand twisted back just as far as he can get it, a tail ender ahead of him, and Walter Netterschneid, Jahle, number 4, in your picture, just gone out of your picture because that's Brusman, are closing in second place. Now, the number 25 tail-ender could cause a problem. That's Jan Bakkens and Harry de Bresser. Harry de Bresser, the passenger who rode with Hugo de Vries for a number of seasons. Jan Bakkens, of course, the Dutch sandmaster, not doing the best, actually, in these very, very hard, dusty, bone-dry conditions here at Langrish. About to be lapped, suffering really the indignation of the Frenchman storming past. Jan Bakkens is very much at home in the deep sand of Holland, and he's doing a wonderful job of holding up the race leader here, because just look now, that's given Netterschneid the opportunity he wanted. He's almost on the back wheel of Gilles Mecene. They go around the outside of Bakkens. Race leader still number 12. Then it's Netterschneid, number 4, in second. And that's how close it is. They still have over a lap to do. Next time round, of course, they will get the last lap board. And the question on everyone's lips here at Petersfield is, can Mecene make it a double win and hold off the challenge from the flying German pairing of Netterschneid and Jahle? Tailenders could well prove to be their downfall. Netterschneid is on the inside. He sees the hole open. The door is wide open and he's gone for it. He's in front, but no, Mecene still fighting back. Tooth and nail, this pairing, and Netterschneid has got the line. Mecene will be into the tree if he's not careful, but it's Netterschneid just grabs the advantage there. With a little over 1 lap to go, the German leads, repaying the compliment meted out to him in the previous encounter. Up the hill then, and look at Mecene finding extra power from the Kawasaki. And Netterschneid got it all wrong there. The chopping and changing going on is unbelievable here. The crowd is on its toes. True value for money. Sidecar cross at its very best. And Mecene is in front again. Is it going to stay that way? We shall see. Next time round, the last lap board will go out. So as Mecene comes under the footbridge for the penultimate time, with Walter Netterschneid hard in his wheel tracks, Mecene sliding the rear end out there. Just over a couple of minutes of this frantic action left in the 1991 Sidecar Cross Grand Prix of Great Britain. And it's good to see Sidecar Cross returning to the UK after a year's absence. 1990 saw no GP in the UK simply because no club was prepared to take the financial risk and run it. And what a great disappointment that was to the crowd. But look at the action across the top of the hill here. Netterschneid knows that if he doesn't do it now, he'll have a fat chance of doing it. Brusman is still holding on to that third place. Mecene, Netterschneid. It's going to be about the downhill drop after this climb. Netterschneid trying to turn hard, get the power on. That's where it's very, very difficult. The torque of Netterschneid's engine just about proving to be a match for the Kawasaki. But on the downhill drop and the race towards the bridge, are they going to be side by side over the bridge? Death-defying it is as they head towards the drop. They hook it up a gear instead of changing down and drive hard into the sky. Mecene going wide, but there's no way Netterschneid could take advantage of that because he just couldn't get the power on. He was spinning hard out of that turn. Passenger hanging on by his toenails to keep the sidecar wheel down. Eric Morgan throwing himself over the rear end. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Another cloud of dust from Mecene. Well, I think my throat is just going to stay the pace here. Goodness knows what the passengers are feeling like. It's been 30 minutes plus 2 laps in unbelievably hot conditions. Mecene, though, appears to just have the edge. He's pulled away now. Up towards the tree. For the last time, Netterschneid hasn't given up. Dropping away down the hill. And now the long climb. This could be, if Netterschneid gets the power on, this could be where he does it. Making a last-ditch stand. He's on the inside line. Can he get through? And he shunted Mecene. Just touched the rear wheel of the Frenchman. And that's all it took. Mecene still then in front. Netterschneid still second. This is how they finished the first race. If Netterschneid can only reverse the position, he will take the overall win here in the British Grand Prix. And he's going for it. He wants to win it desperately. Under the bridge for the last time. Mecene, however, is going to make it a double 1-2. And in with a real chance of becoming overall world champion. Mecene then, this is the third place man, Josef Brusman. He'll be absolutely delighted with that. What a terrific race for Brusman, but Mecene, the winner.
So, a classic British Sidecar Grand Prix ends with handshakes between the top 2 teams. The result of that second leg and the Grand Prix, Mecene and Morgan of France from the Germans Netterschneid and Jahle. The same one too as the first leg. Josef Brusman and Werner Kirchner finished third. But no doubt that after winning both World Championship races here in Hampshire, Gilles Mecene and Eric Morgan deserve their Grand Prix title. From Petersfield, it's goodbye.